Care of Children from the First to the End of the Third Year. By Mrs. Ellis L. Mumma. Published in Good Housekeeping in 1886. The mothers who allow their innocent babes to be entirely cared for by nurses are more cruel than those who formerly cast their infants into the rapidly rushing Ganges. More cruel, for the sufferings of the latter were speedily terminated by the hungry crocodiles, while the former all through life bear some trace of this early neglect. No mother should allow anything to interfere with her duties towards her child. When the mother is too delicate to perform these tender offices, let her from couch or chair exercise her rightful supervision. Thus she will be enabled to see that her wishes are carried out, and the child will consequently benefit by this. Let it be plainly understood that this is not a tirade against the child's nurse, for she is a useful creature and is often of great service in relieving the tired mother. What is meant here more particularly is giving the nurse absolute control. This should not be allowed the best of them. Yet how often are the helpless little things consigned to the tender mercies of those unfitted in every way for the task, while the mothers are engaged in worldly pursuit of pleasure. These mothers, easing their consciences by an occasional glimpse into the nursery, are perfectly satisfied that baby's outside appearance is all it should be in the way of dainty dress, etc. Ah, poor deluded mother, what misery you are stowing up for yourself for the future! What has a mother gained when, tired of worldly life, she turns to her children for comfort, to meet, perhaps, with coldness from them? Who can wonder at this result? Did she not barter the time that should have been spent with them in childhood for the uncertain pleasures to be obtained from society? Again, if she only finds them estranged in affection, it is not so hard, for that may be overcome in time, but when society palls and fails to bring its wanted pleasure, she turns to her own hearthstone for comfort, only to find a void there never to be filled, for, one by one, the little ones, early neglected, have fled their earthly home, where they may have lived to grow up, their usefulness and happiness impaired through some disease contracted in their neglected childhood. This cannot be stated too plainly. If a mother wants happiness in the future for herself and children, let her, in their infancy, sacrifice her pleasure to a certain extent, giving the greater portion of her time to them, and in the years to come she will be amply repaid for every sacrifice she may have made. On the other side, it is quite as disagreeable to see the mother who subjects everybody else in the home circle to king baby, neglecting husband and other children for his sake. There is a happy medium in all things, and it should be maintained in this as in other situations in life. Baby's bath from his birth should be of daily occurrence, the water tepid, castile or some other pure soap being used. Be very careful about the purity of the latter, as baby's skin is so tender and easily irritated. A very good way with babies born in the fall or winter is to bathe them thoroughly one day, the next only the face, head, hands and feet, rubbing the little body with olive oil. Too much cannot be said of proper rubbing at such times. It improves the circulation and in time makes the flesh more solid. At 3 months the bands can be finally removed, not any sooner if you want your child to have a straight, strong back. Earlier than this time he should not be allowed to sit erect without support, no matter how much he may want to do so. Between the 5th and 7th months, the 2 first lower teeth will make their appearance simultaneously. Prior to this, wash baby's mouth out regularly every day with cold water in which is dissolved a little powdered borax. The latter is unnecessary unless there is soreness of the mouth. When baby begins partaking of solid food, a small toothbrush with very soft bristles should be used. As this is so rarely done, there are many who will criticize the suggestion. As a result of this practice he or she will possess 2 rows of sound white teeth, until the second ones make their appearance. The longer the first teeth are preserved, the stronger and better the second set will be. After meals is the time to clean the teeth, particularly after supper or before going to bed. If they are to be cleaned but once a day, let it be before going to bed. From the time baby is a month old, he should be taken into the open air daily for a time, unless the weather is too disagreeable. Fresh air is the best invigorator. In allowing the nurse to take the child for his airing, be sure that she is entirely trustworthy. Irremediable damage has been done in this way by thoughtless, careless nurses who sometimes chat with friends whom they meet. Careless whether the sun is shining directly in baby's weak eyes or not, or perhaps unheeded he leans too far to one side, falling at length on little head or back. This picture is not overdrawn at all, and it behooves every mother who is compelled to keep a nurse to be careful in her choice of one. Should a rash appear during teething, use ordinary rye flour as a powder. It is better than lycopodium or Lubin's costliest powders. A small quantity of iris, commonly called orris root powder, will send it agreeably without detracting from its efficacy in healing and soothing the inflamed surface of the child's body. At the expiration of a year, perhaps before, baby will begin to lisp a few words. As his vocabulary increases, watch carefully that he acquire nothing hurtful. This is more likely to occur when there is a nurse in daily attendance. How often among highly cultivated people is one shocked to hearing little children use wretched grammar in expressing themselves? The parents indolently awaiting the time when, free from the nurse and established at school, this will naturally come all right. It is never too early to begin forming their habits and correcting their little faults. The latter need not be done harshly, but kindly, tenderly, and firmly. For the first year, baby should sleep an hour morning and afternoon, as well as the regular sleep at night, which should last from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. For the first 3 or 4 months he should be fed once in the night. If he wakes, it is well, however, to discontinue this practice as soon as possible. After a year the morning nap should be discontinued, but the afternoon nap should be continued until the end of the 3rd or 4th year. It is a welcome rest to the active, inquiring little mind that is at work every minute not spent in sleep, and is also of equal benefit to the tired mother. It is a great temptation to many people to kiss every rosy, dimpled baby they see. At the risk of offending your best friend, prohibit the practice as much as possible. It has been truly said that indiscriminate kissing of little babies by adults has caused greater destruction of infantile life than anyone is aware of. After baby begins on solid food, let his meals consist principally of sweetened oatmeal, farina, and plenty of new milk to drink. Ripe fruits of different kinds are a most excellent addition to his meals, unless especially interdicted by the attending physician for some temporary trouble. By the time the 3rd year is attained, the teeth are all through. If the above simple rules are carried out, baby is on a fair road to become a healthy, happy man or woman. Blessed is the woman who unselfishly adheres to these regulations. She who truly loves her children will only too gladly deny herself some of the worldly pleasure she has been accustomed to, in order to mold properly the youthful minds, and to care for the little bodies until they attain the health, strength, and stature nature intended for them.